Hello, welcome to Beth Roars, where we look at your favourite singers to find out what makes them them. I actually recently did a video on what makes Freddie Mercury great, and I go really in depth into all sorts of things, like his really fascinating vibrato. But I also wanted to do a reaction to him because he's just one of my favourites. Brian May.
Love of my life, you've hurt me. You've broken my heart, and now you leave me.
Oh, how cool is that? That is just the coolest thing. Like, imagine being able to conduct all those people. That's so cool. However, I just love his musicality. There is this constant sense of movement, dynamic shifts. He is always performing everything. It never stays still. The love of my life. It slides up through the note and back down, and he goes from quiet to loud to quiet again. No note is the same volume, and this is something to bear in mind. Sometimes people can get a bit monotone with the dynamics, but literally every note needs its own dynamic, its own feeling. The way that he sings each note is like an onomatopoeia. Yeah, it's onomatopoeic. I'm gonna say that. I always forget this word, and it makes you really feel everything. I mean, he truly is one of the greatest singers here, and there's some interesting things going on with his voice around this time in his life as well.
Love of my life, don't leave me. You've stolen my love, you now desert me. Love of my life, can't you see? Bring it back, don't take it away from me, because you don't know what it means to me.
So it's really interesting, his vibrato. A lot of people say, his vibrato is better than Pavarotti's. Well, I mean, actually, vibrato is just a matter of opinion, but it definitely is a faster vibrato than Pavarotti's. He had a really slow control vibrato. Freddie Mercury had an irregular and a really fast vibrato, and you can hear it. It has a more of a fluttery feel. Now, this is caused because he had he uses quite a lot of pressure. Now, I'm saying this actually, partially vibratos are just is a fingerprint of our voice. Everyone has their own vibratos, so he probably just has a fast vibrato. But also, technique can make a mark on your vibrato. If you're using a lot of air pressure, that can really speed up your vibrato. If you're using really good breath support, it slows it down. And actually here for him, it's a fairly slow. Sometimes when he's really, really going for it, his vibrato is super, super fast. And here it's kind of like medium fast. It feels a bit more relaxed, and that suits the song.
You will remember when this is blown over and everything's on by the way. When I grow older, I will be there at your side to remind you how I still love you.
Beautiful. I love how he's using the flaws in his voice to give it more emotion. He kind of squeezed and added this fry in at the top there, so you get this feeling of like cry as he gets there. And actually, that's a really good technique. If you kind of go like a little puppy, when you're singing, you can understand the feeling of cry, how crying feels in your voice, and that can be a really interesting tool to use, a really emotional tool to use, and it's something that Freddie uses quite a lot. Now, at this point in his life, Freddie had actually developed nodules, and this was because of using probably a lot of that pressure, also that air pressure that I was talking about earlier, also because of just a grueling schedule, and artists at this level who are performing this much is really tough. It's really tough on your voice. So this would have made him, you kind of hear at this point in his life, his voice is a lot heavier. It has this kind of, he mixes a lot more rather than going to a light head voice. And this would be because it's harder to go to your head voice, although he is actually doing it very well on that ooh there. And as you go into your head voice, because your vocal cords don't meet fully, you've got a little nodule in the way that kind of stops them meeting. It means that you have to push your vocal cords together really, really hard to get them to kind of meet fully, or you get a breathy tone. And that's why he would have kind of shifted his technique to that heavier sound, I think, anyway.
I still love you.
I love hearing the simplicity. Don't you think it's really brave for Queen as a band? I guess they could kind of just do what they want because they're so phenomenal, but you're so used to them doing these big rock songs, and just to take a step back and just be Freddie and Brian May, really, really simple, really stripped back, is really wonderful to see. Just even that. See those dynamics? That's, I mean, my vibrato is no way like his. It's so cool.
Don't take it away from me, because you don't know what it means to
I know, he's keeping it really open and
love of my life. You, yeah.
He's so good. He's so good. So why was Freddie Mercury's distortion so unusual? Was his voice really better than Pavarotti's? How did he get his range in? Did his teeth make a difference? Well, that is all in my What Makes Freddie Mercury Great video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do like and subscribe. Big thanks to my patrons. If it wasn't for you guys, these videos wouldn't happen. If you'd like to check out my Patreon, head over to patreon.com/BethRoars, where you can get early access to content. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.